It's already in you. Now you just got to get it out you.
I believe in that because I just when the last dude was talking about the whole music thing, I was like, man, those little bursts and jolts of energy, I be feeling the same way, and I used to feel like that about the music. But as I like practice, try to slightly be intentional here and really, I guess, put myself in it with foresight and really see if this is something I really wanted to do. It was like the pain, like my body, my spirit was remembering it like as pain, like it was too painful to endure whatever it
Yeah.
came to do.
Yeah. So the pain is to lock the lesson in. It's to lock the lesson in. You have to determine what the lesson being learned is. That's the only way to relieve the pain. The loss becomes the lesson when you learn from it. And then the pain, when you're not in physical form, the deeper the pain was, the more you like, yeah, man, I felt that in the physical world. Because you don't feel it in the spiritual world. You think it in the spirit. It's all information in the spiritual world. But in the physical world, you get to feel it, the ups and the downs, and the pains and the sufferings, and all of those are good emotions. You felt life. That let you know you was living. Now you got to live with intention. So now that you use all of your lessons to build your future life, that's walking you through your book of life. Everything that you went through in your life has trained you to become what you want to become. So all of your pain was all of your lessons learned. And all of your pleasure was all of your celebrations given. Good?
That's it.
Anything else?
Nah, that sounds smooth enough for me. Like you said, I guess if I were to again put thought into what you said right now, I ain't chose yet.
You gotta choose you first. Gotta
I
choose you
appreciate
first.
you.
Yeah. All right, my brother. I'm gonna let somebody else have me.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Yeah. You're gonna do this to my phone now. I think that's like 2 hours. Grandmaster Bay, come on up. Chiefing with the chief. See how I can help you today.
And what's happening, Can you hear me?
Peace, my brother. Yep, I hear you loud and clear. Loving them dreads you wearing.
That's my little one. She wanted to be
Hey,
on.
Princess, how you doing?
Say what's up, You ain't going for it. I had a couple of questions. I had like two.
Let's go.
The first question.
I got 50 questions.
You got 50 questions. I don't know if you're gonna answer 50. That was random.
Let her pick her best three. How would you want that way?
You want me to ask a question first? Okay. All right. So my first question. The last couple of days, it's been kind of hectic on the energetic level. Like, especially when I be doing my meditations at night. Like when I be doing my meditations at night, going through the whole processes, of stimulating the energy, it look a lot differently now than what.
Don't get closer, you might get burnt.
No, it would look different now than what it used to before, like when my eyes is closed. Like for example, I could see part of my body halfway, like straight down the middle. Part of it would be like a black and gold flame on my left side, and on the other side it'd be more like a rainbow light, And I noticed that when I don't know, it would be stuff that just be coming to me in download, and when I put my right hand on top of my left hand, it kind of calmed down the like the black and gold flame, But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of wondering more about like tapping into it, and what does it mean on a DNA level? Like what other
Them your bloodlines. Them your what you call the two primary bloodlines. The black and gold, them big mama boys,
Mm.
right? And that kaleidoscope of colors you see that you interpreting as a rainbow, that's your Pleiadian line. The seven
Mm.
sisters is the seven rays of the rainbow.
Okay. Now
So,
that's funny
so
because her extremely rainbowed out, like extreme.
her bloodline dominance can be the Pleiadian lines,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So what's happening with you is by balancing your Pleiadian line with your Earth born line is your black and gold.
Hmm.
It's keeping you in balance. That's why you seeing what you seeing
Okay.
when you put your hands together.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's telling you to make a balancing ritual by using that as the anchor. Oh, he buffering. I don't know if he can still hear me. Can y'all still hear me? Is it just him? Or is it
I
just
can
both?
see.
You buffering. Okay. That's oh. It's telling me I don't have no more requests and I'm looking at the camera saying 9 requests. Let me go to questions then. Black Rose. I'm also constantly seeing 111. That's my mother's birthday. She's been gone since 6/23/12. That's her communication. If you know that's her birthday, whatever her birthday mean, every time you see that number, that's the energy that is presenting itself to you. How you see that energy. Nuna knows. Can you explain what you said about the womb and the guy's grandmother, please? Okay, let me see if I can. Um, Raise your hand so I can see you. Nuna knows. I'm gonna try to bring you up so we can go over it. Nuna knows. Nuna knows. Uncharted. I can't see right now. I'm gonna let you. Hold on. Uncharted awareness. I'm about to pull you up now, sweetie. Uncharted awareness. I sent you a request because it deleted all of the requests. So if y'all want to come up, I must be an hour in. Yep. So um, if she don't come up, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna start a new one. Uncharted awareness. Did you get the? They gonna bring your assets to your family, and they gonna give y'all some conditions to receive y'all inheritance. So, Achia Will 901 said, with the return of the matriarchy, how to be claimed by land, assets, and estate without filing paperwork with the pseudo government. They gonna bring it to you. Man, the archivist. Can you talk about men whose psychic gifts from a mother and how they might be affected if they are born via C-section? C-section is only designed for emergency distress in childbirth. You wasn't supposed to give them out like candy. The C-section is for the mother to have postpartum depression issues and the baby to feel isolation issues. It's all designed and used out of context. That being said, the right brain is what we call your mother brain. In your anterior gyrus, it's like right here in your right brain, this is your open channel right here for your incoming spiritual messages. It's called the anterior gyrus. But it's going to be arcing with your pineal gland that's like right here. That arc of energy makes you have a tingling sensation at your crown. But when it's just the pineal gland, you feel it right here. The pineal gland light up from inner development, but your anterior gyrus receives the incoming spiritual messages, right? And if your spiritual messages is not getting through because your pineal gland is calcified and you're not doing nothing to decalcify it, then you have to start focusing on it so that you can activate it. And this is when they call activating the third eye, right? So once the third eye activated, now the psychic energy that's coming in from your mother brain, your right brain, your left brain is your father brain. This one is governed by your Y chromosome. This is governed by your X chromosome and your mitochondrial connection to your heart chakra that comes through the umbilical cord from your mother, right? It's a chakra loop from the heart chakra to the navel. It's a 3-chakra loop, right? And so when the mother teaches the child to activate the father mind and by giving him assignment, but she's communicating spiritually through the mother brain, right? This is like a computer, the motherboard and the software. The software has to be programmed, spiritual information, and you store it on the hardware, neural network, neurons, dendrites, axons in the brain, and they start constantly exchanging data, right? Now, the sons who receive a strong connection to the mother, they will have their right brain abstract artistic self at a higher frequency than their left brain intellectual logic. And they will have a different learning style than the rest of the children. The children who are operating left brain, generally they learn visual, audio. First visual, then audio. But children who learn from the right brain, mother brain, they don't learn linear logic. They learn abstract reason, right, and artistic expression. So they probably can't explain it to you, but they know what they understand, but they don't know how to left brain explain it to you. So the left brain has to develop the linear logic to understand that to interpret the abstract of the right brain, you have to understand the mother's frequency. Once you understand the mother's frequency, you can read it almost like reading a book. This is called your psychic awareness. This is when you learn intellectually that the spiritual side of things means something, and once you create a codex, you can translate what the spiritual information is to the people who don't understand spiritual things because they stuck in the left brain. This is why everybody's right-handed, because most of our left brains are turned off. I mean, our right brains is turned off. And the left-handed people come in right brain dominant. That means they mother line dominant. And this is why they always try to force left-handed people to write right-handed. The side effect they didn't anticipate that sometimes the left-handed person becomes ambidextrous, which makes them predisposed to develop a spiritual balance that other people don't have by being forced to write with a right hand to use their left brain. So you forcing the synchronization between abstract um, information and linear logic, right? And now they be finding the balance in the two. And if they take on spiritual concepts, they able to intellectualize them and artistically understand them at the same time. And that right there allows them to be able to generally go further than other people in the same field. Okay, I want to do some more Q&As, but it's not letting me access nobody on it's not letting me access nobody on this video. So I'm gonna end this. I got about oh yeah. So I got about another hour worth of power on here. So I'm gonna end this here, then I'm gonna reboot back up for the part two. All right. So if y'all want to watch the part two, I'm about to reboot back up. But that's so other people can come on. And if I didn't answer your question in the question box, just re-ask it and we'll try to get it in the next one.
Wait until we get to 500. So I'll kind of like chat with Rod a little bit. So, and also hold on, Rod, let me add something too. So everybody check on in. Now, Rod, I always ask you questions, personal questions, because I was like, because everybody kind of knows you, but some people don't. But I always ask, like, because you've been really inspirational as far as bringing a lot of information regarding the records about our indigenous heritage here in the Americas. A lot of the information as far as like, I mean, politically, you have a lot of the archives of how politically our countries have been set up and how that affects us. So I wanted to ask a question because we're not going on the topic until we get to 500, but I'm going to kick it in and say, Rod, like what kind of brought you to this, to social media? How about that? Like what brought you here? Like, how did you kind of come to coming on YouTube, speaking to the people? Like what incentivized you to do that?
I has had a wealth of information and I needed an outlet. And the path of least resistance to reach the most people, right, is social media.
Yes.
Because people come across your content. I started on Facebook, right? I started making posts first, and people couldn't really understand the post because it was too much symbolism in it, in the pictures and all that. They don't know how to translate symbolism into the common language. So a lot of my early posts was to give the common language and then show the symbolism that represented it, you know. And so it became a path of least resistance following the course of energy, right? And it was also based on my mama kept telling me, don't talk to the people, talk to the wind, right? It's based out of a book in Daniel, The Valley of the Bones. Yeah. You wasting your time talking to the bones. So tell Daniel, turn around and speak to the wind, and the wind will wake the bones, right? So the wind is the symbolic representation of the airwaves, right? Before TV and all that, the airwaves meant talking to the trees, talking to the animals. And then somebody somewhere else will pick your message up by the response that the local animals give to the animals you spoke to. That was part of totem magic.
Yes.
Right. When we lost so much of that, modern airwaves now, because the same way that the frequency traveled through the animal network is the same way it traveled through the computer network, the radio network, or the television network.
Mm-hmm.
My opportunity to get the message out by radio, which is musically, that window closed because I did 16 years of isolation in prison.
Yeah.
So that window closed. Don't nobody want to hear what no 40-year-old rapper just getting out the joint got to say.
Well, I would have, but not everybody.
But for it to have this effective reach, then I
Yeah.
knew there was no way I'm finna go to Hollywood and try to be an actor and tell it in satire and theater.
No.
So that's just not gonna happen, right? So my other opportunity was the computer network.
Mm-hmm.
And when you realize how many people around the world have computers,
Yeah.
that changes the reach, the scope, and the spectrum. And it
Yeah.
also ties back to when we speak out in the public, we putting our information in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
And that also is a public notice to the system. As we go through the steps of how the system is set up in fraud and how they impose their admiralty jurisdiction on the land, we have
Mm-hmm.
territorial rights,
Yes.
right? They have squatter rights and salvage rights.
Mm.
But we telling them our land is only spoiled because you're here. They telling us we got to stay here because your land is spoiled.
Mm.
So we have to reverse engineer everything to get back to where we was in 1491,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's so many people on social media and in a religious world that believe in somebody called a Hebrew, a chosen people of God, chosen above all other people. And they got to
What
wait till God
God?
come back in order to get them a homeland.
What God though? Or what
Right.
demon?
This is the whole point I'm making. It's
Uh-huh.
the paradigm. All of these cities in America that's named after biblical names was
Yeah.
named after 1492.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
But now you have people that's using the Bible as the reference point to prove that these cities that's named after cities in the Bible are ancient cities. They ancient cities, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
them names,
No. No.
right?
You.
But
Yeah.
the reason why it become effective in utilizing it, because that was the poison they dosed us with.
Mm-hmm.
So as we detox from the poison, we're going to make everything apply somewhere else until it makes sense to us,
Yeah.
right? So now we have to go through the understanding of how do you get the most tribes on the land access to the information. And the smartest avenue was social media.
Yes. Yeah. The World Wide Web.
Yeah.
You touch all
And
these different
besides,
lines. Yeah.
yeah.
You
Because
always
I
touch
didn't
all.
have people call me from some of the strangest places in the world, a couple countries I'd never heard of.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Isn't that awesome though? Like
Oh,
to have
yeah.
that kind of reach? Yeah.
Yeah.
Consciousness, we always thought of consciousness as being limited to the space or the influence that we had just locally. And it's expanded, globally. And, you can even say etherically or, or astrally, because from what I understand from people who are quite sensitive in the ethereal realms is that the things that we speak of here, speak, is reverberated in the different dimensions and the astral plane. So it's felt and translated and kind of kicked out into space. So what we do and what we say affects all different realms and all dimensions. It's all heard, or acknowledged. Yeah.
So
So
one of the things they have us under the false pretense is that we the only ones struggling to overcome a colonizer.
Mm. No, we're not.
But I had people call from Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
from Tonga, from Samoa, from New Zealand, from Australia. We all fighting the same fight to overcome the colonizer everywhere they didn't call me from.
Well,
And
we call
many
it
of them,
colonizers. Yeah.
yeah, and many of them ask, what are they supposed to do? I say, go back to your elders and use your tribal tradition, your tribal oral tradition to overthrow the paperwork of the colonizer. Because you was
Mm.
there first. So your tribal tradition is the law of the land that overrides the admiralty jurisdiction if your people stick to it.
Yes.
When they first come with it, they be like, that shit ain't gonna work. It didn't work for our ancestors. Yes, it did. They stopped using it.
Yeah. My grandmother said the reason why we have Tornado Alley on the land is because that's the ancestors kicking off the infiltrators. And it happens commonly as a way to kick up the energy to kind of clear the land. That's what she said. She said, that's just clearing the space for those who aren't from there. So that's the way the energies kind of work. And that's ancestral energy, she used to say. It's the ancestors' energy kind of using the wind and the elementals to clear the land. Yeah. That's why usually
You
on a
know, it's
lot
a
of,
goddess named Hurricane.
wait, say it again?
It's a goddess named Hurricane.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You always teach me things. I didn't know that. That's like a fun
it,
fact.
it, it was a goddess of the winds. They called her Hurricane. But
Maybe that's why.
it's the difference in the spelling is the only reason it don't come up when you do a Google search.
Yeah.
But if you
'Cause
put goddess hurricane in front of it, put
yeah.
goddess in front of it,
Yeah.
it'll pull all her information up.
So interesting. So my grandmother had some legitimacy to that kind of, she said it was the ancestors doing that. Yeah.
The same
Yeah.
thing Garvey said. That's why he said, look for me in the whirlwind. I'll come back with the
Mm,
hundreds of thousands of ancestors.
mm. Yes, yes. And also, you look at a lot of the different reservations, and some of them are really, some are dilapidated and not really thriving or evolving. And if they were living on the land of their ancestors, that wouldn't be the case. They would still be thriving. It doesn't matter if it's a concentrated space. So it speaks to
They don't know
placeholders.
how to live off the fat of the land. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So
Yep.
it's another thing too. The the government, the ones who live in the lap of luxury, and the first
Mhm.
ones with the casinos were the ones who struck deals with the government. The
Mm.
impoverished reservations, the ones who are prosperous, is barred from giving aid and assistance to them.
Oh, what?
Yes, if they give aid and assistance to them, they'll be declared an enemy of the state, and they will be raided by the federal government, and their casinos shut down for violating the the it's a sovereignty clause that the Supreme Court rules over the reservations. So when they get permission to set up their casinos,
Yeah.
right? One of the stipulations is they can't offer aid and assistance to other tribes across the land. But
That's
it's no
insane.
different from the athlete contract
Yeah.
and the
I was just
celebrity
gonna say it.
contract,
Yes, yes. They can't
where
go. Yep. Go ahead.
like for instance, Michael Jordan just got from under his contract,
Mm.
and the first thing he did was went and helped some disaster relief down south.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right? We know that if he violated his code, they'd kill his daddy because they did it.
Hmm. Wow.
So he had to wait out the duration of his contract, and he couldn't help us. And then he was hesitant about who to try to help because he knew firsthand from personal experience that the enemy ain't paleface.
Mm. Certainly not. Yeah.
So he tried to avoid um, people that was in the business arena that looked like us
Hmm.
because a lot of the times they either handlers got handlers that's them people or they them people themselves.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It makes sense. It makes sense why, even when they do adoptions, you ever notice like the celebrities will do adoptions? They won't adopt brown children from the United States. They'll adopt children from abroad, African children from abroad. That you can
Mm-hmm.
tell there's a contract because it's all uniformed in their behavior. If we had all the athletes, all the actors, everyone who had this high amount of wealth take care so-called the very few brown people, we wouldn't be in the state of the social conditions that is happening in the United States. But
But
obviously it
they
was
didn't
underground.
have them stipulations into their contracts until they started having multi-million-dollar contracts.
That's right. That's right.
They even put it on singers too.
Yep.
It'd be part of their 360 deal.
Mm-hmm. You could
They'd
tell.
be barred from doing community work in the community you from.
Yeah. Because you never see them do any development in their neighborhoods. It used to be back in the days. I will say, like maybe like in the 80s, I used to see it because I grew up next to Denzel's mom, Washington's mom, and he built up our boys and girls clubs in Mount Vernon. And he used to always come and like do more like upkeep. We'd have like big gatherings. It was a big deal, but it stopped after a while. I think that's the last time I really saw it like firsthand. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like in the 80s. You know what I mean?
So once you get to a certain economic bracket, like Bill Cosby was one of the largest contributors to the United Negro College Fund.
Yes,
Bill
yes, yes.
Cosby sent more people to out of our
College.
community to college
Hmm.
than our community sent on its own.
I remember that. Wow.
See,
I
we
forgot.
don't know what the whole Cosby case was about. We
Tell
don't
us.
remember 70s culture, popping quaaludes,
Mm,
right? We didn't know that that was like a common practice of the era to exchange quaaludes for sexual favor.
that's right. It was part of the culture back then.
Yeah. So why would he have to sneak them in somebody's drink? That's an
Mm,
afterthought.
mm.
That's an afterthought. They came up with that after the fact.
Wow.
And then when the case they unsealed, he literally said I exchanged drugs, pills for a sexual favor.
Hmm. And so
That's
did
what they
Mark.
use as the evidence to show him slipping Mickey's in the drink because he said he admitted that he had exchanged pills for a sexual favor, but they didn't never show it until later on when they came up with the case. But they had
Hmm.
been been at Cosby head for years. Remember, they killed his son for trying to buy NBC,
That's right. Yeah.
right? And then they leveraged buyout Mr. Johnson for BET.
Mm.
And so he was doing good business until the point where he let them get too much control and interest in his company, and then they leveraged him for the buyout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So once they leverage him for the buyout, he take what he can take and get, and it's damn near as much as NBC was going for. He got what was it, $3 billion for BET, and they were selling at the time Cosby was trying to buy NBC. I think it was $5 billion.
Wow.
Right? So all this stuff is going on. But what got Cosby in trouble when he spoke on the secret code and said in the public speech, we not upholding our end of the bargain. We not teaching our children properly.
Yes, he did. Yes. Yes. I forgot. Yes. He was complaining about what was going on, like the influence that the music was having, how it was influencing negatively the youth. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, then he turned around, Oprah invited him on her show,
Mm.
and he was wearing shades on the show. That's cold. Ain't no, why are you wearing sunglasses in Oprah's studio? You got to think about that. Then he doubled down and explained it. but don't nobody know what he's talking about unless they've read the George Washington Challenge about them miseducating us and us not never finding out who we are, where we from.
Mm.
Now he didn't expose half of the plot. That's why he was sending so many of us to university to get higher education to learn how to do research.
That's right. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Right? Because you got to remember, in 1900, only 1% of the world's population is literate.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in that 1% is part of a society that allowed them to read.
Occultists, yeah, brotherhoodship, yeah.
Yeah.
It was illegal
And
to read as well, yeah.
for us,
Mm-hmm.
look, it was illegal for us to read. It's illegal for anybody to do business with us in any form. Nobody can bank for us. This is why we was having our own banks.
That's right.
But they needed to shut our banks down to undermine the value of our currency in order to institute a false currency.
And make us socially conditioned to be codependent on their system. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you study the Panthers and you study what they call gangs, you'll find out that they only was demonized because they was doing stuff for the community the government wasn't doing.
Yes, feeding the
And
children.
so the government shut them down.
Yeah.
And say, you can't do it. We have to do it for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then they started doing school lunches and breakfasts and adding that. I don't think that was in until after they shut down the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been instituted after.
I think toward the tail end of shutting the Panthers down, they were starting up school breakfast programs.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. But they couldn't cut the Panthers off before they started a version.
Mm.
It's a seamless transition. That's what they call it.
Yeah. So no one really feels it and they don't fight against it.
It's the same with EMTs. The original ambulance was us. Because we couldn't get to the hospital.
Oh, that's
for medical care. So a group, some brothers and sisters from the land decided to create the ambulance and EMT, emergency medical transport.
That is clever.
So the government shut them down and opened up the organized EMT you see today based on their model.
They're just a bunch of they're just a bunch of copycats stealing everything.
They have to let us do it first because they don't know how to do shit.
But they wouldn't even know it existed until it was created first. Yeah.
They didn't know, like, for instance, vocational schools in the hood used to be trade schools in the traditional education, but they was taking the trades out of the schools that we went to.
Yeah, because all the boys in my
school. So now we're not getting skilled trades. And
you remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you have people like Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover and David Barksdale, and they trying to put vocational programs to teach skilled trades in the inner city of Chicago because skilled trades is the gateway from poverty to wealth.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. We had auto mechanic shop in my school. We had home economics. I loved it. You know, we learned how to sew, cook, everything you could take. They had the electric room where you learned how to do basic electric, you know, like the basic wiring. Yeah. And it was free. It was free in high school. For those who don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's at the same time they was extracting critical thinking from out of the curriculum too.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want your child to have critical thinking, practical problem solving, you got to take them out where the rich kids go to school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they just still happen to have skilled trades.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And they work on core self-esteem in private schools first. They don't really do curriculum with the little ones. They build their self-esteem first. So that's how the wealthier schools or the private schools kind of work with the children. That's why you see when they come out of school, they're like leaders, they're unrelenting, they have a lot of strong self-esteem. It's purposefully done because they're not building worker bees, they're building leaders, while the regular schools are building slaves, chattel
Yeah,
slaves.
it just comes from a German model.
Hmm.
Is Vocational, Rüscheln, and academia. Vocational is false schooling.
Hmm.
Rüscheln is real schooling. Academia is where you train innovators and leaders.
Yes. Yeah. Even
Management is taught in real schooling.
uh
They teach you how to effectively get orders to the ones that went to Vocational.
hmm. Fun fact show. Write this down. I hope the little ones are listening. Where's our youngins? Stay in the room. Rod is in the class. You know what I'm saying? Professor Rod, get in here. Make them sit down and listen. It's very important. This is you're teaching some things to myself that I didn't know. And it's interesting that we act as if the educational system is new, but under the colonizing concept it is. But in ancient times, where we're ancient societies, we're talking about that ancient societies, where we had the Tartarian societies, we see remnants of, you know, not only just architecture that supersedes anything that we see that can be created under this so-called modern day time, but just remnants of communication or even linguistics that supersedes anything that's being taught in this society. What say you of the Tartarian societies that I haven't, I don't think I was ever taught that. I learned that after the fact, that Tartarian societies existed. The buildings that we see that were built long before those who came in and claimed it and squatted on the land came in, claimed it as their own. These societies had higher technology, higher minded, and many of those societies, if not all, were melanated.
Well, you gotta remember the most of that stuff. First of all, the word Tartaria means west of Rome.
Mm,
Okay, now that's important because the orientation to determine what and where Tartaria is predicated upon Roman thought.
mm,
The place that the Romans are referring to is Tartarus that you can read about in the book of Enoch.
yes, yes.
Tartarus was a major metropolis in Atlantis. Um, Tartarus is the landmass that's under the ice of Antarctica,
Mm,
right? Everything there was flash frozen in an instant, right? And when that happened, everything under the ice was covered and kept intact.
woo! Go ahead, Rod. I have an addition later to this. Yeah, yes.
Okay, now that that ice has been there for some thousands of years, about 10 to roughly that thick. It was following what was known as a pyramid war. And it was part of them crashing the fourth dimension into the third dimension that will require us to need sleep.
Mm,
They done that by opening up a collider like CERN. Uh,
yes.
they
Hadron collider.
spent particles around until they opened up a portal between third and fourth dimension
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and put massive explosions in there and shut it so that it'll collapse like a spring being stuck in a spot.
Mm.
And that's how you create an infinity loop.
Something like
So they
what we're.
put us in an infinity loop
Yes.
using technology and spirit science at the same time.
Mm.
Now, because we hit the Maherta for the first time and flipping through this infinity loop, we moving into the fifth dimension, right? So this goes from the age of Aquarius, where everything is about believing it, whether it's true or not, you just believe it. Or we go into Aquarius, the age of knowing, where our heads are no longer underwater, thanks to the water bearer,
Yeah, the
right?
later.
Dumping the water out of the vessel,
Yeah.
right?
That could be the
And
firmament
so,
falling down, melting. Yeah.
right, symbolic of spiritual anointing,
Yes.
right? Because water is the physical representation of spirit.
That's right.
If you understand water and how it operates, it allows you to understand how spirit operates. The same way you can program the spirit to manifest your best life, you can also program the water to show in its frozen crystals what you was thinking about when you was manifesting.
That's right. And geometrical shapes and patterns.
Yeah. So Tartarus is what they make in reference to when they say Tartaria, but in the larger scope, it's everything west of Rome, Italy.
Interesting. That reminds me of the Matrix when I talked about Zion. That could be a concept of Zion, perhaps, like TARDIS. That maybe that's the reference because it's supposed to be under, like when the Nebuchadnezzar was under the bowels of the city. It's under
Mm.
the waterways. Interesting.
Okay, now the word Zion, remember,